Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch. And oh my God, Alicia.
Yeah, pretty sure I witnessed the opening of the Holy Grail and my eyeballs melted like that Indiana Jones movie.
I was just going to say the Indiana Jones movie.
If that's what I could compare it to, then yes.
Here we go, and we're going to have some more people joining us just like right now jumping in here. We got a truck.
Oh.
Truck, did you clean yourself up enough to be public?
I put on a shirt. I put on a hat. You can't tell, but I shaved. Just for you, Trey. Just for you. Just for everybody, actually.
Did you manscape?
See, I don't make any money off of that, so.
Oh, okay. Well, just for conversation's sake, we'll say that he even manscaped. Don't forget, folks, 20% off, free shipping. Code is in the description of the video.
100% endorse. 100% endorse.
Yes. Man, and I believe we're going to get Bill from the road in here, too, as soon as he gets back to the motel, the hotel, the no-tail.
The Holiday Inn.
Yeah, one of those. They left the light on for him. Dear. So, wow. What do you guys want to talk about?
Nothing really going on, kind of boring.
It was just your average show. Really? It's just, Yeah, we all just went through a half a box of Kleenex. We were so happy. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen, we have some new and new champs in Impact Wrestling.
Sure enough.
Number one, we can't leave this guy out. We gotta make him part of the conversation. Chris Sabin is
new X Division champ.
9-time X Division champ.
That's a record, right?
I think so.
After that match, I looked up his Impact record. It's almost 20 years to the day since his first run.
Jeez, wow.
I thought that was
how iconic.
Yeah.
There's a few guys that have all started around the same time in the company. Now, Alex Shelley came in a little later, I believe, but Kaz and Sabin both started real close together, time-wise, in back in good old Nashville, man, and in fact, they were just talking about Kaz's 20 years. So, we're already predicting what they're going to do for Slammiversary. Kill Steel here, good evening. Says they got to be setting up Macklin versus Aldis versus Shelley at Slammiversary. You know what? I don't know. I mean, they did say Shelley they did say Aldis is the number one contender. They did make that acknowledgement, But as far as anything else, I'm not going to assume anything, especially after what happened tonight. My goodness.
Wild.
So, who fell out of their chair the hardest when we got a new world champ for Impact Wrestling? His name is Alex Shelley.
Think we all screamed for ice cream?
Yes, I will agree with that. I was completely floored.
Doggone it.
It's a totally legitimate win on his part, but I was not expecting it at all.
Yeah, I was going in expecting them to give to Macklin because they love those long champ runs, but they broke the cycle tonight, and we got Alex Shelley in a a shocking turn of events. And what a match, too. It was a really good match.
It was. I mean, the whole evening was just an absolute banger. It really was. And to counter the whole bit of controversy that surrounded Under Siege, as hardcore as tonight was, there was not one drop of blood spilled.
Well, because you don't always need blood to put on a good show, even though some of us are thirsty for it.
You don't. But when you've got an Ohio street fight and you've got a dog collar match between these crazy knockouts, and I'm like,
wow.
Like something's got to happen. Like somebody's going to be gushing. Like, okay, if anyone, it's going to be Callahan, right? Nobody. Tax. Okay, so somebody might have been bleeding from the tax or maybe a little bit from the barbed wire. But there was no Crimson Mask. No one was like, oh my God, get that guy a towel. There were no moments like that.
Probably because Macklin did it for everybody at the last one. So, you know, they might want to chill on that a little bit.
He pretty much died for all their transgressions. All right, here we go. Bill from the road joining us.
Ew.
What a night. What a night.
Right? How
the Impact Plus specials that continue to overwhelm us with quality, but now with booking, who saw this coming?
None of us.
I think
nobody saw this coming. Anybody who said they saw this coming is lying.
I mean,
it took 20 years. If you thought it was coming, I got a bridge to sell you.
Right? Here's the thing. They were dropping breadcrumbs pretty hard. Halfway through the match, I started getting a tiny inkling. Like, there was like that little spark that was like, oh, because they showed the T-shirt at the bottom of the screen. They showed the yup, and then I started thinking about that. I was like, and I said this to Alicia right before we went live. I said, when's the last time we had something similar to that, something organic like that with a title change attached to it? It was the Yes Movement when Bryan Danielson became champ. And I'm like, but they wouldn't. I'm not. Okay, so please, I'm not saying they copied it. Please, I'm not saying that. But I'm like, but they wouldn't pull the trigger and actually make Alex Shelley champ, would they? I'm thinking all these things in my head because I'm like, it'd be great. It'd be so nice. Bill, you and I were in Chicago last year. We saw Alex Shelley come this close last August versus Josh Alexander. And it's like, oh, man, you know, that would have been nice.
From the beginning, it did seem a little strange that he was getting a title shot again so quickly. Even though I know that was last year. But still, it felt like they're going Alex Shelley as the number one contender again. That's interesting.
Yeah.
So, and they were really playing that he never won it before. But then it was like, okay, we got Sabin with the breaking 9th time run. So maybe that was all we were going to get. But the pull the trigger on both, it's a historic night for sure. And I'm not sure where it cut off on the live feed, but even like at the end, Kazarian went into the ring with them too. So you kind of had that early TNA all represented as they closed out the show, which was great to see.
Well, what's funny is they cut it off pretty much when they were both on the ropes holding up the titles.
Yep.
They cut it off there. The boom camera was moving across like, okay, you know, just kind of fading out. And then all of a sudden, I noticed in the Discord, someone shared an immediate post show popped up on the YouTube channel a second later saying, okay, so because someone Sabin grabbed the, or Shelley grabbed the mic, and then Sabin was talking. So they did that, and then they had the post show and a brief analysis from Hannafin and Wilde afterwards. So there really wasn't a big cut and play there as far as missing anything. They did show Kazarian, which I thought was really freaking cool.
Yeah, because you figure who's in the back. That's somebody that obviously shared a lot of moments with those two guys. Well, you're talking early TNA, you're talking X Division, you're talking Sabin, you're talking Shelley, you're talking Kazarian.
So, man, this just it feels organic to the point for big moments in time. Like we finally have something to replace a moment that had a very similar feel at the end of a WrestleMania that had such a dark cloud over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When Guerrero and Benoit were hugging, and everyone still loves that moment, but no one talks about it because of the aftermath was so insanely tragic with what happened to them. Now it finally feels like we as wrestling fans have a moment to look at some organic growth in the company, guys coming up, 20 years in the making. They're both champs, and they had a moment in the ring afterwards, and it felt amazing. It was the first thing that thought in my head. I'm like, finally, we have something positive to kind of replace that in a sense. You know what I mean?
That's a historic moment for the company, no doubt.
Yeah.
Although I couldn't help already letting my mind go to option C. When that feud between the two of them happens, that's going to be very fun. But we'll let that play out a little bit longer because I have some ideas on how that could run. But that would be good to see as well.
Oh, I'm sure it could happen down the road, you know?
Oh, there's no with Sabin as X Division champion, he has to cash in on Shelley. Probably heal Shelley in 3 months.
I don't have many brain cells left tonight. I completely forgot that he could actually cash in down the road depending on how long.
He could have cashed in tonight if he wanted to.
Option, yeah, and just completely flip the world.
Hail Sabin.
Hail Shelley, and then Hail Sabin.
Yes, yeah. Hail Shelley tonight.
Yeah.
Has anyone checked on Ash? Is she okay?
None of her messages popped up, so I'm not sure if she's been stunned or.
Just if she's out there listening, please check in. This is a big night for Alex Shelley.
It's a big night for Ash.
This is true. Oh, here we go. Someone checking in from Twitch. Daniel Clark. He says, she's ecstatic right now.
Oh, it's got it. That's the biggest Alex Shelley fan I know.
Right, yeah. Between that and like Kenny Omega, it goes back and forth, I think, for her. So yeah, there's definitely some super fans out there probably losing their mind.
Baby Bear did good.
Yeah, right. We got we've been talking for a while. I want to quickly acknowledge this. Thank you so much, Justin, for the super chat.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely loved it. OVE is back. Sabin and Shelley are singles champs, and lots of heart emojis. Eli's
felt like we went in a time machine.
Yeah.
Of good times.
It's like the wrong things are being corrected.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
Seriously. Yeah. So the monster's back. Truck, you're muted, but you're laughing your ass off about something.
Oh, I'm having a good time. You guys do your thing. I'm just here to observe.
I'm like, what are we missing out on? Okay. Yeah, so let's I'm not like gonna be big on going play by play here, match by match. It doesn't feel like that kind of mood tonight. I just want to discuss like highlights about stuff.
It's a celebration, Jacob.
It really is. It really is. The whole. I mean, this is the first show for this area for
ever in Columbus.
Yeah.
First off, so I mean, they really.
There was supposed to be a show. It was the last. It was I bought a ticket and it was canceled the next day. During the early pandemic in March of 2020.
That's when
sold
stuff
tickets
really started snowballing. Yeah.
So they were supposed to go there, but then obviously that got delayed for quite a while. But now back, and obviously I got there early, and then kind of waiting for it to fill in. But by the end, by showtime, it was pretty crowded. I had a nice crowd there. I think a lot of Revolver fans. I think they did a good job locally getting the word out there and getting tickets in people's hands, and people were into it tonight. Obviously, they love their OVE, but I think they were enjoying a lot of it. So they put on some good quality matches.
Thoughts on and let's stay on this OVE for a bit. Thoughts on OVE and the return of like the OG OVE, if you will.
Jake Christ and Madman Fulton.
Yeah, I want to jump in and say sign Jake Christ. If he's not signed already, please do that immediately. He came to play. He showed up. He's put a lot of work in since he left, and he was popping the crowd over and over again. And I know
he's way over with that crowd. Yeah, but he's way over with that crowd. He's worked a ton that area, obviously, and but you can tell like with Revolver, he's done a lot with. And but he was as over as Sammy was tonight, which is not an easy task.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I was expecting he was going to get the pin just based on crowd reaction alone. He was so hot. So yeah,
that Chris Cutter was fantastic in the match.
And that was the moment where if you were in the Discord chat, that was the moment that got me saying, "Yeah, you got to sign this guy. He is 100% committed to you."
Hell yeah. And gosh, how good did that monster Fulton look tonight?
Jeez, he's been putting in the work as well.
He really slimmed down, and not that he was like fat, but he really just toned up.
He toned, yeah.
But he's still a big guy. It's not like he turned into a toothpick or nothing. He's still a big guy. I mean, there were some tables crying.
His gear when he first came out, I'm like, oh, he's got different gear, and you see why. He wants to show it all off.
Oh, right, yeah. He wasn't wearing like 10 layers of like, winter jackets and clothing to like bulk up in certain places. Like, no, man. He was running around in a loincloth half the match. That's what it looked like half the time.
Great spot with his hair with Angels. When he was going to go into the board with the barbed wire, and Angels held on to the hair to not go into it.
God, that looked painful. I mean, I'm bald, and that hurt.
It's okay, Jay. Wrestling's all fake, so, he's fine.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I like his new tattoo. That would have put a bit of a dent in a day for him. A couple of days, probably. It looked very elaborate.
I'd have to look back again. I didn't notice.
His chest. The chest was new.
Oh, he has a chest piece. Okay.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, those have got to be painful.
So, shall we jump into it then?
Sure. Let's talk about the first local pop of the night. We'll go over the pre-show quickly. KiLynn King versus Nevaeh.
Returning Nevaeh, Mrs. J. Chris.
Yes.
It's good to see her back. I actually did catch part of that match, and she came out with real big energy, and it was good to see her back. I believe I thought it was a year because it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but I guess it's been 2 years since we've seen her in the Impact ring, so it was good. It's good to see her, good to have her back.
It was. She looked great. She looked
I hope
like
it's
she's
not a
been taking-
one-off.
Right. Yeah. I hope she's part of the tapings at least, if anything.
Absolutely.
Uh,
See if they have any interactions with their old teammate Havoc.
Oh, that that they're gonna be having a good time.
Death dolls.
Honorary death doll, and hey, maybe she'll meet that Courtney Rush. She's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Speaking
And
of
if you
Courtney,
want to,
Speaking
Push
of
it,
Courtney
Jay.
Rush, make sure you guys check out Bison's interview with Courtney Rush that dropped a few days ago. He did a great job. And I mean, he really did a great job. I can't put him over enough because Rosemary is one. Oh, see, I did it again. Courtney is one of those that's always in character, and she cracked for a minute actually talking about like herself, like her legit self and some of her past and coming up and and how they just entertainment wise, and it was like whoa, he did it, because I've never seen her out of character. She always finds a way to refer to herself in third person or has a way to express herself in a certain way where she's always in character. And this was a really refreshing, because she still did that. She still did that for a majority of it, but you guys got to just check it out. Props to Bison. Great interview with Courtney Rush. Go check it out. It's on the channel. So KiLynn King beats Nevaeh, but I hope she sticks around for a little bit. We'll see what happens. We'll find out soon enough in the next days and weeks to come.
Absolutely.
They got a day or two in Fallout tomorrow that they're taping, Bill?
Just tomorrow.
Just one day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Taping tomorrow, and then Atlanta at the end of the month. So that's her.
Okay. Gotcha.
That's what's up.
Bell's boy with the $10 super chat. Thank you very much. Good evening, Senor Jebon Alicia. The cool one, Mr. Bill, and Mr. Yup. Love your wings. Yup. Glad the wings behind. I see what he's doing there. Glad Sabin won his 9th X title, but can't fathom why the belt was given to Shelley now. Scratches head. Well, that's not the response I was expecting. You know what? We're all shocked. Not everyone is going to be on the same train. Yeah, I think we're all surprised one way or another. It's
a good thing.
Right. It is. For the company and for these guys that have been busting their asses for a couple decades solid now, Scott D'Amore gets it. That's all I got to say.
Coach. Even beyond just being it a surprise and kind of a welcome one because we like the guy, it's a logical surprise because it's not like he just showed up 2 weeks ago and said, I want a shot, and then wins.
Yeah.
You can look at Motor City Machine Gun's behavior as a tag team over the last 2 years now as kind of like their build. They've been champs multiple times. They had belts outside of the company. Even when they're losing, they're still putting on incredible matches. The guy's been delivering this entire time. Kind of like, Sabin when he had his little singles run there, and it looked like he was kind of being set up to be champ. Shelley was basically in the same boat. So this was a surprise, but it's not a unbelievable one.
Right. The only difference is Shelley was gone for a little bit because of work and came back and looked like he didn't lose a thing. He just steamrolled. He and Sabin steamrolled over everyone. Bill, you looked like you were going to say something.
Yeah, I think it's and Truck's right. Like that, there is a story there, and I think we all still got to remember Macklin's program was supposed to be a whole summer with Josh. And that was the storyline of the world title. It was going to be Josh Alexander, Steve Macklin. When Josh got hurt, they had to redo things and he had to cheat a Macklin match. But I think that's always so. This storyline, like they were kind of doing things on the fly, and that's everything was in limbo really these last couple of months. But the surprise for me was after Macklin, I thought really had a statement title win against PCO in that Bloodfest, which once again we said some people love, some people won't because of what it is. And we'll get into a match tonight because there was zero blood on this card. Zero.
That's yeah.
There wasn't a paper cut in this show.
Yeah.
Right. It was shocking. It was refreshing though.
Yeah.
Which is
I was saying before you came in, Bill, that Macklin did enough for everybody for the next couple of shows.
I almost wonder if that was part of it. Did they go too overboard and this was a self-correcting show? Because when I heard Ohio Street Fight and Dog Collar match and there was no color, I was shocked.
Yep.
Shocked.
Exactly.
Maybe more shocked than Alex Shelley winning the title.
Yeah. all sorts of shock value on the show tonight.
Yeah. But I think it was the right choice. And I am a big Macklin fan. I think he'll have his time again. But Shelley tells a story, and with the Sabin angle, I think they got something now cooking. And you got to remember Slammiversary, Detroit, right across the river. Both guys are champions from Motor City Machine. That helps push it.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Location. All right, so then we get a OVE promo after the ladies' match, kicking things off, showing that the Madman is back in the house and they are going to destroy everything. Then we get Santino on commentary coming out. Joe Hendry defending his digital media championship against Dirty Dango. Thoughts on this match?
I'll go first. I like the match. I think the wrong guy won.
Go ahead, Truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like the match. I think the wrong guy won. I think
All
Joe
Team
Hendry,
Dango?
Yeah. I think Hendy's shtick has run its course. I don't like that he's continually relying on stuff that happened, years ago in a completely
another company.
It feels like a meme, It feels like one long cringy joke.
Yeah.
I think Dango was trying to do something more interesting with his promo work. And Alicia, was it 2 weeks ago? You mentioned it kind of felt like old MTV. I think that's what you described it as. And yeah, that kind of grittiness. And to me, that was much more interesting than a bunch of, stuff that Weird Al would never record because it's not up to his standard.
Oh, okay. As soon as you said MTV, it just clicked. I'm like, okay. The first thing I thought of when you showed like the black and white Dirty Dango stuff, and you said MTV, I'm thinking about 30 years ago when Dennis Leary was on the commercial.
That's what I was thinking. Yep.
And he's like, I think you hear me knocking, and I think I'm coming in. Or he used to say something like that, and he'd smoke, he'd blow smoke.
He's this really aggressive cigarette smoker.
Right. And he was obnoxious and but not quite as controversial as like Dice at the time or stuff like that. But he was
keeping it real, a straight shooter. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I agree that the wrong guy won. Sorry.
No, I was a little surprised. I was making dinner at the time, so I quick rewound. Just to see who won the match. So I missed the match itself, but I saw that Joe Hendry won, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
he gets his pop. The crowd does pop for Joe, but I am with the crowd. I'm a Dirty Dango fan. I always rooting for Dirty Dango, especially with the character, which was one of the guys there. So I would like to see this more fleshed out, but maybe we will still, hopefully we still see that, even if not in a angle.
Maybe, but my worry is that it's 2 in a row these lost now. I hope this isn't the blow off or the end of him. But Joe, I'm done with. Do something different.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Well, you know me, I've been done. He gives me anxiety.
I'm still not over Moose getting robbed.
Yeah.
Winning the title that time, where Santino took it from him and restarted the match.
Oh God, that's right.
Yeah, salty.
The rightful DMC champion.
It's weird to me. It feels weird to me that I'm supposed to be cheering for the guys whose character is built around something they used to do 10 years ago in a company that I wasn't even watching then. Like Joe and Santino are supposed to be the faces here. No.
Well, that's what's crazy to me is that Joe Hendry's a face, but he's not really face-like. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Yeah. And also, it's all the references to other companies' gimmicks and
reality TV shows that I've never watched or even cared about. And just, come on, guys, do your own thing. The nice thing about decapping for a completely different promotion is you do get to reinvent yourself if you want to, if you have the creative chops and the confidence in yourself to do it. Dango seems to be interested in doing that, and Joe's milking things he did years ago, and so Santino.
Yeah,
the snake thing's really corny.
Yeah, I'm not gonna swear, but yeah, go away with the snake. I don't need the snake.
No more Cobra, eh?
On that note, Dirty Dango, it was a good match. Like, let's not be too harsh, but it was a good match. But yes,
Joe's an absolute powerhouse. The stuff he pulls off is just ridiculous. So yeah, I mean, stick around, absolutely. Just do your own thing, man.
I'm ready for a real villain era from him, like we're getting from Dango.
Yeah,
there you go.
No more songs. Oh god, it's so bad. It's so bad. It's not even. I don't even want to raise my hands and wave them side to side anymore. It's just
cringy. It's cringy.
I don't believe in Joe Hendry. I don't believe in Joe Hendry. I don't believe.
When Jennifer started those promos, I was thinking, is he going to try and convince Joe to come along with him? Is he going to point out to Joe that, man, we're milking the old days here? Is he going to try and convince them and then turn into a little faction? That's what I was thinking.
That'd be interesting.
All 3 of them are playing so heavily on the nostalgia shit, which, you guys know I have basically no patience for overall.
Same.
But especially in this case.
Small doses.
In extremely small doses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been waving my hands from side to side for 30 years at concerts. So, I mean, it's like, whatever. I'm still doing it. So, but anyways. All right. So, we kick off the main card here. First ever time that these two have faced, which seems impossible, but yeah, here we go. We got Kazarian versus Eddie Edwards.
It's just
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that I like this match surely for how much Alicia inserted herself into it. And again, Alicia Edwards fan club over here. We love to see it, even if she got herself ejected. Our short queen reigned supreme in this match. Left her mark.
Yeah, she did great. She's ride or die.
Yeah, and shout out to Serotonin for getting the win, because obviously.
Serotonin.
If you understand the reference, you get it. Good job, Kazarian, Kaz, Frankie.
You have to have been watching the show.
Bring it back.
Metallica Die Hard.
She's big on the serotonin.
I'm ready for the guy liner and headbands, bro. Come on. Big old hoop earring. Let's go.
Bring them back.
That was me in high school. Shit.
Some fucking Jankos. I think that's what he was wearing. Some baggy ass Janko jeans.
Oh,
You might have to make your own pair because they don't do them like that anymore. But
I didn't do that.
Oh, I'm sure you can get them on some Etsy store or another. They got
the Jeff Hardy parachute pants.
Yeah, everything comes back. Everything comes back, and it never even really goes away.
I gotta dust mine off. They're in a storage unit somewhere. I knew it that they'd be back, and so I'm ready to soak the bottoms of my Jinkos in the rain.
Oh God!
If you know, you know. It was a time.
You start talking like that, you're gonna lure in a scumbag Kyle. That's his. That's his bread and butter right there, because he used to share some old pictures of himself.
He wasn't
in
even
his ball
born.
chain necklace.
He was a wee little nard looking like that, which was hilarious. I did something similar in high school, but it was called Bugle Boys, and they weren't quite as baggy. So
Makes me want bugles, though. Anyway.
You're a Bugle Boy guy.
Wow.
Good job, Kaz. Good job, Eddie.
Lish, the star of the match.
Yes.
She looked great. She looked great out there. She really did. Yeah.
Body armor is making
whoever did the gear. Yeah.
I like the scale mail. That stood out immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good look.
I wonder if she got that at a Ren fair.
She stole that from Sebastian Bach back in '92.
Yeah. Because the 80s was super femme.
Jack of Juke.
I'm too sexy for my... Oh, sorry. All right. Next we got Jimmy Jacobs.
Jimmy Jacobs, Nick Aldis' special announcer.
Still, with the microphone, has its own special Nick Aldis rap. I'm like...
Jimmy should be the one announcing all this when he
background monitors. Nick Aldis.
Yeah, yep. Jimmy should become like the Don Callis to Omega kind of shtick, right? Yeah, it's like his introducer and his interviewer and his.
But if he's going to start,
out of that background, so it's just Nick Aldis all over him.
But if he's going to do that, Jimmy Jacobs has to go full zombie queen. Or princess, excuse me. He's got to go full zombie princess, pom-poms, and run out there and be like, oh, Nikki, you're so fine. You're not, you know.
Has he ever done that?
No, but that just popped in my head, so I had to quick get rid of it.
You had to spit it out. Yeah, I get it.
It's one of those
do you remember what we talked about? Sometimes you got to just let it go.
My wife just said kill it before it spreads. Too late.
It's in the air. It's infected
out there.
us all.
It's in the universe.
It's all right. You're precious.
So Jimmy Jacobs is interviewing, we'll just say Team Aldis. It's one of the 4-on-4s for the 8-4-1 match coming up. So it's Aldis, Heath, and Gresham, and Bully. And Bully is just in the background, just being
pacing.
Big old poopy head.
Doing the scenery.
He is just Debbie Downer.
Big old diaper butt.
I trust you, and I trust you, and oh, by the way, I trust you too. That's Bully. Bully's like, screw you all.
Where's Tommy to be like, hey, you guys
I
can
thought
trust
he
him?
knocked this out of the park.
Don't even say that. Don't even say that.
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I'll go
now he's
coming
back
now.
for like another 6 months, Alicia. Your fault.
I spoke it into existence. I apologize.
You Beetlejuiced him. You Beetlejuiced.
I'll tell you, this promo, and then we'll get to the match. I thought Bully Ray hit a home run. I thought
what is wrong with all you people?
And what he did.
You're an enabler. That's what it is. You're enablers.
For what it was worth,
perfectly.
I'll agree with Bill. Only because he didn't become number one contender. Because I've thought for sure this is what this was all.
Correct.
That this was the breadcrumbs to him winning the number one contendership, because it's been all about Bully hanging out with Macklin. Bully was hanging on Macklin in the go home, sir. Had his arm around me. He's like, "You're talking about all these other people, and you really should be worried about B." And I'm like, "Oh, shush, really? Damn it!"
Next episode is going to be Bully Ray being like, "I don't know her," in regards to Steve Macklin.
Who is this bully bitch? She needs to go away.
Hashtag bully bitch.
Right? Impact tag titles on the line next here. Good Hands with some. I gotta say, they looked fresh out there. That new gear, the powder blue and black and the silver. I was like, oh man.
Stefan called them the Good Little Brothers.
Like, they're supposed to come out like skipping and holding hands like in third grade.
No, because they're like they're like a weird spin-off of the Good Brothers. And he calls them the Good Little Brothers because they're not quite.
Because they're
not quite.
Oh, the name. It's the name that kills it for me. I'm sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to step out of this one. I can't do it any kindness.
That's racist. I'm just kidding.
I'm doubting.
So, no, I loved what the Good Hands looked like coming out here. I'm like, wow, they look. I mean, yeah, they've been wearing similar gear, colors, yellow and black or whatever. But now they had this fresh gear for this pay-per-view, and I was like, man, if they are going to win the titles at any time, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night. They're facing the Bullet Club, the ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bay, the Impact World Tag Team title holders. Your thoughts on the match, guys?
You can't go wrong with ABC here. But they were good. The Good Hands did a good job in this match. Brian Myers got involved as usual. No surprise there. But Good Hands gave them more of a fight than I thought they would. So I was with you, Jay. I thought there was a chance they might actually pull it out for a brief moment. And then I'm like, no, that can't happen. And then when the whole ending going into the finisher was really nice tonight. It was a very nice display because obviously we always say no one kicks out of the gold. But the whole kind of setup as it ended, I saw, and then Hotch took the pin tonight. But it was a good the tag division, and that's kind of a good job. Impact kind of giving us this tag team kind of like out of nowhere over these last couple of months. That now is you can take them seriously to an extent. The Brian Myers learning tree gimmick is finally working.
Right, and it's not
the
biggest joke on the show. So yeah, they did great. The match was great. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little surprised the Good Hands didn't win. I was almost rooting for them because I feel like they've really been, as far as clicking as a tag team on TV, in the ring, outside of the ring. They've really, they're not just that team that always loses against, it's like as soon as you see the other team show up, you know who's winning. They're not that team anymore. So it was really...
No, they've had a ton of TV time. They've established them pretty well over the last couple months, which kind of came out of the blue. So that's a credit. Got an act over the last couple months.
Yeah. All right. Next, we got the Knockouts dog collar match. And I thought for sure this was going to be at least one of many times in the show that we were going to get some color. And, well, I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. These ladies absolutely tore the house down. And they proved that you can have a knockdown, drag-out, crazy-ass dog collar match without a drop of blood being spilled. Blew my mind. I was impressed. I was shocked, but not in a bad way. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they were able to tell the story pretty clearly. You know,
it shows how good they are.
You don't always need blood to make a brutal match brutal. You just have to have the audacity and the character drive to do so. And these two women are presented to us as very dark and demented and twisted and violent, and that's the closest to light tubes we're gonna get in this bitch. So Great match, ladies. I was very entertained. Good hanging spots.
Oh, yeah. Between the hanging and dragging each other with the chains, that's always a big thing.
Very good.
The tug of war, yep, everything.
Now, I missed something. I blinked or something happened at the end of the match. What happened at the end of the match that had people's heads turning? What?
Bill?
Something happened. Something happened. What's that?
Oh, he's frozen.
He's not there anymore.
I thought he was just in a state of bliss. You there, Bill?
There he is.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah. No. Are you talking the finish or after the match?
After the match. There was a moment between the two, and I blinked and I didn't.
Oh. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, no. It seemed like there was, in the end, there's almost like an like Masha gave her like an acknowledgement, like Kelly liked it at the end. So I don't know if that's kind of playing into some kind of submissive role or there's something to that. Because remember, they were originally tagging for like a week and then it fell apart. So it seems like there's now some kind of connection between them. I don't know how they're going to play it out, but there was a either a recognition or something. Alicia, what do you think of this?
I will agree. Now that I remember what what happened, I feel like I've been saving it since this whole thing started, that they're trying to build them into some kind of team, which makes sense because we can only, as much as we love them, we can only have so many tag matches between the Death Dolls and the Coven. We need to maybe throw some fresh teams in there. Oh, and what better team than Masha and Killer Kelly, right? To throw their names in the hat.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, these they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. No, the thing I was talking about, because it looked like Masha licked her fingers and then touched Killer Kelly's face or so. It was something like that.
Blessed her.
She licked it and like she was.
The power of Christ compels you.
Something. I'm not sure if Christ was in the ring for that one though, but I think it was more like Satan. But anyways, great dog collar match. These man, it's just another example of the knockouts are killing it. Absolutely killing
per
it.
use.
Hell yeah. So Masha beat her with a snow pow. And all right, so next we got the X Division title on the line. One of a few champ championships, so we get changed tonight. So Trey and Miguel defending against Chris Sabin.
Let's not all go. Hail Sabin. Oh, mitten hands. Detroit. I will say, and this is just a random observation, that Trey Miguel spray paint is actually that color hair dye hairspray stuff you get at the novelty Halloween stores.
I recognized the cans.
I did. Because I got a couple of the glitter sprays in my makeup drawer, so I recognized the cap style, and that's literally what it is. And it makes sense. You can't be spraying actual paint into people's faces.
Right. Those are much bigger cans.
And that stuff is literally just hairspray with color in it. So
yeah.
For when you don't feel like actually damaging your hair, just get a can of that. You'll be all set.
It just it holds, and then it just washes out at the end of the night, right?
Yeah. Or if it rains.
I really like this match, not just because it was a good match, but they had a lot of story in it. They were building the story of the X division, both of them. You know, everybody busting out old finishers. I was really hoping to see something from Kid Cash and maybe just run through the entire 20 some odd years. You have to hit every finisher before you can actually end the match. But it was okay. I was satisfied with it like that. I popped big for the Styles Clash.
I was just gonna say that was a damn good Styles Clash.
Yeah, that was crisp.
Yeah, that was definitely surprising.
And he was using it as a finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering we hardly see that anymore.
Not pretty. Almost banned. Almost.
Yeah, almost. Just.
That's true. But overall, this was a really exciting match where Sabin gets the win.
Yeah.
Adding, was it 9? Who did the 9 time? 9 time. I know I got a bunch more to go, but I'm going to spare everybody. 9-time X Division champion, which is monumental. In so many years in the business, it was a big night, just as big of a night for Sabin as it was for Shelley. So it's good to see the mitten guy getting his See, I'm learning this lingo. How many years have I been watching Chris Sabin and I never knew?
And in neither case does it feel like it's an award for long service. You know, they're both well into their prime. Yeah, they're putting on extraordinary displays, both in the ring and on the mic. This was earned. This wasn't a gift.
Oh yeah. Sabin, since Sabin came back, he's been having an absolute career run. And the only thing short of that is, like I said, for Alex Shelley has been having the exact same run. He just hasn't been back quite as long because of work and stuff. But he's, like I said, he jumped right in alongside his brother, and they have been absolutely killing it, whether it's for a title or just a tag match or singles or whatever it is. It's just, you know, I've heard more and more people now in the last year, more than ever, saying that Motor City Machine Guns is the best tag team across the wrestling scene right now. And of course, it's all subjective. You could say, no, it's this team, no, it's that team, whatever. But damn, it's hard to argue with it. You know, it really is, given what they have all been doing. Especially after tonight. And it wasn't even together.
And just a shout out to Trey Miguel for a very nice exhibition.
Right. Yeah, he's since he's come back, I feel like he's been the best version of himself ever. And even in this heel run, he's been doing a lot more charismatic things. You know, he's not just a goofy little imbecile, you know. He's been stepping up and improving himself.
He's got the
passion.
He's got the passion.
He does.
He's taken really well to showing off a mean streak, which I was pleased to see that he's got range in terms of his character.
Right, and not everybody can do that. You know, I mean, you've heard it say in our interviews 1,000 times that it's easier to be a heel than to be a baby face, but not everybody has it in them. And well, he proved it. He proved himself over the last several months now, so he's doing good. So yeah, but congrats to Chris Sabin and 9-time, man, that's nothing to sneeze at. Next, we got the 8-4-1 match, first time ever. So we got Moose, Swann, Bailey, and PCO versus Bully Ray, Gresham, Heath, and Aldis. I, for one, was not super excited about this. And just because I kept thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, damn it, Bully better not win. Like anybody but Bully. You know what I'm thinking? Because I kept dropping all these breadcrumbs like, fuck, Bully's going to win, isn't he? You know? But he didn't. So that made up for it. His team won, which made me even more nervous, though. So I'm like, okay, so out of the two 4-on-4s, it was Bully, Gresham, and Heath, and Aldis that won. So then it was those four guys facing each other, and the winner of that becomes the number one contender that goes on to face the heavyweight champ at SummerSlam. I almost said Pound for Glory. that's a little further down the road. What'd you guys think of this?
Honestly, this was the match where I went off to make some food. The outcome was a foregone conclusion. It's either going to be Aldis, which I'm looking forward to, or it's Bully, which I'm going to pretend isn't happening. Nobody else in this match had any kind of build. This was a weekly match, a Thursday night match. This was not a pay-per-view match. You know, Heath, sure, great guy, love his kids. He's not winning this match. And it didn't surprise me at all that he was the one who ate the pin. You know, Gresham, I like him, puts on great matches. He's not going after the world title.
I felt bad for him because Moose
Moose tried to kill him.
Dear God.
Yeah, Moose tried to put him through the ring.
He really did. Anyone else want to add anything to this one?
Just a lot of stuff happening at the same time. Bully tried to be a sneaky bully bitch, #bully bitch, and he tried to push PCO off the top rope so he could do one of his back-breaking stunts, which I am really worried about that man's spine future.
See, and I feel the same way until I see stuff on social media where he's actually winning, like, I don't know if it's karate or jiu-jitsu or whatever he's winning outside of professional wrestling, but he's winning belts, like actual belts from guys like Gracie and dojos like that. Mm. He just won his blue belt, and I was like, oh, so he's not just a badass on TV. He's a badass, like legit.
Like overall. We have looked at pictures of him like when he began his career, and I'm like, this is the same person.
Yeah.
He like I was unfamiliar with his former aliases and stuff, and I was like stunned because I'm like, what? They don't even look alike. It's him? That's cool.
Yeah.
PCO's not human. But I have a bad back, so I'm like, oh, I feel that. I'll feel it for him.
Every time he does a swanton and lands on top of the apron and then
or when he lands right on the cement, like, yeah, it's like,
right, just crashes and burns. Yeah.
I know how the human body works, and if it's not caught up to him yet, it will, and I just worry. I don't like people to get hurt, which is weird watching wrestling, right?
Yeah. No, I completely concur with the whole back thing. It makes me cringe too. Trust me. So, but here's the best part of this match. Bully Ray thinks he's gonna win here. He's in the 4-way. Things are getting out of control. Scott D'Amore gets in the ring and starts beating Bully with the chair. Bully rolls out. Scott D'Amore leaves. And then Aldis, shortly after that, wins the match. So your new number 1 contender is Nick Aldis, and he will face... Well, we don't know who he's going to face yet. So
will it be Shelley? Will it be Macklin? Will it be Bully?
They did announce the match on their socials.
No, I mean at this point in the show.
Oh.
I'm thinking like as in we didn't know at this point. Yeah.
We've been punked.
Critical Sting, don't you dare disrespect Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. I'm not disrespecting it. I'm saying that's who he was getting it through. That's who he tagged on social media. So no, I'm not disrespecting him. No. I am applauding PCO for his accomplishments inside and outside of the ring. Gracie's a badass. I don't know shit about him, but I know he's a badass. I know that much. Let's see. So next we got Trinity and Deonna Purrazzo versus Gisele Shaw and Savannah Evans. This one was a lot of fun. Man, the knockouts, especially at the end when Purrazzo and Trinity were celebrating in the ring, they were just kind of like, dancing and shit. I was like, they're having so much fun.
We got to see a Deonna Purrazzo twerk.
Is that what that was? Because I thought
yes.
It was just kind of like shaking her butt and doing the like whatever. I don't know.
Well, that's part of twerking. I don't know what the red velvet thing is, but sure.
I don't know. Just
making cupcakes.
Just stirring batter, shaking booties.
Yeah, I can't do that. Years of clenching your butt cheeks and anxiety just does not allow the movement.
I shouldn't laugh at that. I'm sorry.
It's funny though. Like I'm slaying with the jokes tonight. God, I'm gonna have to go to the hospital from laughing at my damn self.
That's the important thing. If you're making yourself laugh, then who cares about anybody else?
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
I don't need you to be funny. I'm funny enough for all of us in my own head.
I know a guy that clenched his butt cheeks so hard together. Never mind.
All right. Yep. No, good job, D-Bone. You know what?
That's why I didn't even finish that one.
Wait. Slow
clap, like one hand. Fun match,
courtesy
like I said. Yeah, just I get
a fun match, lots of energy. Savannah and Gisele make a great team. They're both really strong opponents for Deonna and Naomi, and a little bit on the predictable side because Naomi's so on fire with the company right now. Like, it's to be expected. And of course, it's Deonna Purrazzo, who's like the top of the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? So,
which I hear rises to the top.
I heard it rises to the top.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't even realize I was making a reference. But yeah, I really like this match. Again, I love every week that we get to see Trinity showcase what she was held back on being in the other company. I feel like she's not giving, but just really killing it as far as unleashing her moveset. And when she works with the likes of Gisele, who is very similar with how acrobatic they can be,
Yeah.
chef's kiss. You can't go wrong with it.
Gisele truly is one of the most improved knockouts over the course of the last year, I think.
It's really coming to her own since her introduction. Really refined the mean girl image, and I'm still not you know what I mean? I'm still not crazy about the group train of thought, but you know, it works.
Yeah. It's getting there.
Yeah. I've said it from the get-go that because I've always been familiar with Gisele's work before she came into Impact, like I think she was strong enough to stand as a solo act. But I do like the enhancement of Jay and adding Savannah into the team. They do work really well with each other, so I'm here for it.
Right.
I just really like factions and stables. I think it's a great way to get more people screen time.
On screen time, it's true. It's true.
You can put together different things and mix things up. You can do Freebird stuff, which I love.
Yes.
Yeah. So I've been surprised really with Jay. I already knew that I liked Savannah, but Jay I hadn't seen before. He's really impressed me.
Yeah.
He's got good energy for sure.
He does.
He really does. He's not afraid to get out there and
play the character.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. You get in someone's face and well, sometimes they pay the price for it.
I love that he started the beef between Naomi and Gisele simply by just asking for a fangirl picture with Naomi. Like, oh shit, girl. And then Gisele was like, you can't do that. I'm the only Beatle in this music scene. I don't know.
There you go.
No pictures with other people.
Cross the line.
And then he has the audacity to be like, no, it's like you loved her and now you're gonna start shit. Okay. I love it. I'm here for it. I love cattiness. I love the drama. Spilling the tea. You know, what are the kids saying this year?
I get yelled at when I spill the tea. I don't know about you, but
do you know what that means?
Yes, that's why I did the horrible dad joke. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm old, so I can say this stupid shit like that.
Maybe I'm coming across like I'm being too serious and giving you too hard a time. Like inside, I'm like I'm on fire with the jokes, but I'm like really deadpan because I'm tired. It's just not, the balance is off. But you're doing great.
Fine. That's why you had the glasses on.
Oh, no, yeah, no, I was blinded by the Holy Grail we witnessed tonight in, like, the Indiana Jones movie. My eyeballs melted.
Oh, there you go.
Should look into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a doctor for that, but I'll, yeah.
Dr. Ross can treat everything.
Oh, Dr. Ross, yeah.
He'll have a new pair of peepers for me in no time.
Or you can hit up good old Chris Jericho. I hear he's a wizard.
It checks out.
Anyways.
It checks out.
Ohio Street Fight time.
OVE.
We've got the Design, Khan, and Angels, and Diener all coming out in pure white shirts. I'm like, well, they're going to be a mess by the end
That's
of this.
Exactly what I thought when I saw that.
Bring me my brown pants.
Bring me. Yarr, bring me my brown pants. versus OVE. That's right. Ohio versus Everything is back. Callahan bringing in his old buddies, Chris, and the monster, the madman himself, Fulton, is back. And damn, was he sexy. He looked great.
You got a little man crush there, J-Bone. Don't tell your wife.
I'm just jealous because I'm a fat old slob, and I'm just like,
stop it!
I want to look like that someday. So
you're a bear. You're all right.
Well, see, on the show, on the show, you see this, from here up, from here down. No one wants to see that,
The leather daddies would love you.
The what?
The what?
The huh?
The huh? Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What? Up dog.
But this is the cleanest street fight I think I've ever seen from Callahan in his whole repertoire of matches in Impact Wrestling.
Do you think there was a rule tonight that nobody's allowed to bleed?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Scott
that was
DeMore.
my guess too. After that dog collar match, nothing happened. I'm like,
Scott
okay.
Scott was staring right at Macklin the whole time he addressed it to, like, if anybody bleeds, I'm gonna hit you with a chair.
Poor Scott DeMore threw his glasses, whipped his watch across the room, and said, "Damn it, crew! Len Asper sent me the email he threw up during the last show. We can't be doing that shit."
Yeah, let's not turn each other into water fountains this time. Maybe we'll go a couple of solid weeks before we have another Slayer song.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Rain and Blood. Yeah. TJ Warner's nailed it on the head here. Says J-Bone needs dreads. That's where Fulton's sex appeal comes from. See, and it's just
his Viking hair.
It's just a boatload of jealousy right there. That's all it is. Yep. Yeah. I can't do that. Back hair is ridiculous. I can't do a damn thing with it though. Great match though for OVE though. They came out
outstanding. They came out with a lot of energy.
I thought this was one of the design's best matches.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still exist or if this was the blow off and they're going to dissolve now, but Cody I've always had a really high opinion of. And I don't think he's gotten to stretch his wings, to stretch his legs nearly as much as I was hoping he would after he turned into Diener. But,
right.
Got chops. He's got chops. And when he and Chris were having their exchange, I was thinking, seeing them in a program together, I think could be really interesting.
Definitely. I think these teams really took each other to the limit. So it'll be interesting to see, like you say, if the design ends up dissolving after this. Or will Angels and Khan kick Diener out and they'll carry on? I don't know. It remains to be seen. But what a match. There were so many interesting spots in this one. And like you guys keep saying, for there not being any blood, they really got the element of brutality across, while still making it like really exciting. Actually, this match was so exciting that I feel like it may have slightly taken the wind out of some of the main event.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing about pacing with shows, is that it's hard to you can't predict how the fans are going to get hyped for certain things.
Yeah.
And then you give them a match like that and maybe no buffer in between, and go right into something like that they're going to have a hard time trying to regain their energy. But they definitely found it towards the end of the night, especially once the final results got the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, it's just exciting. Very energetic match and no blood.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And given the amount of barbed wire spots there were in this match, I mean, I'm sure somebody was tore up a little bit. There were tacks, but it's not like, no one was slipping through an ocean of blood. So
I think Impact alters their barbed wire, so it's really not as sharp as you would think.
Well, I've heard there's like plastic barbed wire you can buy out there for shows, but I don't really know shit about that. So
That's
I'm
what
not going to say.
WCW used to do. Theirs was rubber tipped.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's like real weight, like barbed wire and razor wire and stuff. That shit's bad. Like it's
Razor
really
wire's
gnarly.
dangerous. I can't imagine they would ever actually use that.
Yeah, they do the barbed wire, not the razor wire.
Yeah.
It's a death match, not prison.
Well, I particularly remember one spot where there was a board with the barbed wire spirals on it. Angels grabbed one of the boards by the barbed wire and dragging it across the ring and set it up somewhere. And Hannafin said something to the effect of, "How did he just grab that?" And he was like losing his mind.
Or he could have just not pointed it out.
Right.
Be like, oh, well, now people are going to rewind and maybe see that it's because it's not.
Yeah. Well, the camera angle was like too far away, but you could tell, he's definitely.
You know how I can tell is because their hair doesn't get stuck in it like it's supposed to.
Or the shirts. The
clothes, but the hair is where it really snags.
Yeah. Well, half the guys in the match were bald, so.
Facts. Factuals.
Like Diener landed on the wire.
Fulton had the most hair in this match.
Right, he just got his hair yanked. That's it. He went to the table. So.
Nothing wrong with that. Short hair is good for the summer, guys. Don't beat yourself up for not having Fulton's luscious locks.
I wax every other day. Hell yeah. He'll do it too.
I think those were bolt-ons, actually.
They were what? No. Continuing? Okay, we're continuing.
No comment.
So next we get the announcement that Multiverse United 2 is going to be in Philly. And that's
at work. Up. Boo.
Quit your job.
I can't. I'm the only employee.
Quit your job. Then they can't fire you. Tell them you're taking off. What are you going to do? I'm the only one.
Well, I watch people's kids for a living, and I can't leave the one kid home alone while they're taking the other ones back to college. So
take them both with you.
The kid
go to wrestling.
The show.
Go with Bill. Then you've got some support.
There you go.
Yeah.
No, it's like it sucks because it is my favorite arena. I love the 2300 arena in Philly. It's just such a cool vibe there. I fucking love it. And so granted, I'm not like 100% sold on a multiverse thing because again, I'm not so into Japanese wrestling. So a lot of it would be lost on me, but it still would be fun because I love the 2300 arena.
Yeah. And it's,
Philly's kind of scary to be in kind of currently too. So there's another reason.
Oh, the area itself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I'm sure it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out show. But we get the announcement here that for the first New Japan star to be on the show is going to be Tanahashi. Go Ace. Very exciting to see.
Back to the Future. Right, that guy?
No, that's
oh, son of...
You were close. It's no, not really, but it's okay. I'm sure he'll be back.
Their names don't even sound alike. God. Anyway.
That's all right. I get half of them confused anyways. I just need to watch more often.
I'm just unfamiliar with it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff though. Tanahashi, put it this way: Tanahashi basically is the John Cena of the New Japan brand.
Okay.
If that tells you anything.
Yes.
As far as like popularity and stuff.
The only thing I liked John Cena in was Peacemaker.
What about that movie where Amy Schumacher's a girlfriend?
Oh God, it's not even worth watching.
I really want to see that though.
When he's the funniest part of the movie and he's only in it for like a minute, it tells you everything. Don't watch that movie.
I've probably seen all.
Just watch the clip on YouTube.
Just watch the one where he's yelling at the guy behind him in the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
That's a riot. Anyways, main event time. Impact.
I'm tired.
I'd repeat what he said, but we'd get demonetized.
We're good.
Impact Wrestling World Title. Steve Macklin defending against
Whiskey Man.
Whiskey Man versus Mitten Hands.
Alex, Shelley. Oh man.
Considering we talked about this so much in the beginning, I'm not sure what more we could add to it other than holy shit, what a fucking moment.
Yeah.
Nobody saw it coming, whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, doesn't really fucking matter. That shit was cool as fuck.
It was such a great organic moment in professional wrestling where someone's had such a phenomenal career, never quite made it to the top, never quite had that it moment, and well, damn, now he finally, after being in the industry for 20 odd years and a good chunk of them in Impact Wrestling, finally had that moment. And the fact that he could share that with his tag team partner, who also became a champion tonight.
That night, yep.
Oh, it was great. I think we were all kind of choked up one way or another. And that's why it took so long to get online, because we were like, oh my God.
I also really liked that Impact broke its title breaking, or like its record breaking title holding pattern of the same guy being champion for like 10 years.
Yeah.
I get a lot of people like legacy things, but it gets kind of redundant when you just keep doing it. And I thought this was an interesting spin. They have so many storylines going into this particular match that they could do really anything with it at this point, and we're going to be surprised coming into the next couple of weeks. So, fucking smooth move all around, man. I thought it was really cool.
It was. And for those of you who came in late and didn't hear what I said earlier, I feel personally it bears repeating. For old school fans like myself that have had a great moment kind of wrecked by a dark cloud, where you had a WrestleMania moment where Eddie Guerrero embraced Chris Benoit when they both were world title holders. But then the tragedy that happened down the road kind of mucked it all up, and no one talks about it. It's not celebrated by the WWE or anyone else. It feels like we finally have a moment that overshadows that now, even though it's in another company. We have it because it feels like that kind of moment. You know what I mean? So, congrats, Chris Sabin. Congrats, Alex Shelley. Yeah, and I don't even I know we're quickly then on the road to Slammiversary. That's going to be talked about as soon as we hit the next episode of Impact Wrestling. We're on the road to Slam. And it's this show definitely threw some surprises at us. So, whatever we thought we were going to get, and assuming we were going to get leading into, the next several weeks leading up to Slammiversary, well, you can pretty much throw that out the window now, because we got a whole new plan.
The aftermath is going to be wild.
Yeah. Another reason I really liked the way things went tonight is because it was nice to be surprised again.
Genuinely.
And surprised in a way that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Because so often, if something unexpected happens, it's usually just bullshit, basically. Or things go exactly the way you figure they were going to, in which case, you can still enjoy the match, but the magic isn't there,
Kind of like
so
with Josh.
I definitely had that feeling of, oh my God, which you don't get every show.
Kind of like with Josh.
I haven't felt that in a while.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%, Alicia. I still enjoy the show, but most of the time it's just enjoyable. It's not that same sort of magic that you had when you were a kid, and it felt more real. It felt larger than life.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It felt like the biggest thing on the damn planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't get many moments like that.
No, like Shelley winning tonight, I jumped out of my chair. I was shocked.
My jaw hit the ground for a good solid 5 minutes. Like, oh shit, I didn't expect that. I haven't had a reaction like that in a long time, where it was just like, oh fuck.
Yeah. With stuff, where Josh won. The first time he won, he took it off Christian. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna win that one, bud. And then when he comes back and takes it off Moose, yeah, you're gonna win that one, bud. But tonight was.
I didn't have the same reaction for Josh.
No, because for him it felt inevitable.
Yeah.
Shelley, I thought they're just ragging the puck, waiting for Josh to get healthy, and this is going to be a good match. But it's just going to be a good match.
Yeah.
Exactly. But then the bigger kick in the pants, big story wise, is like I said to Bill. I'm like, we saw this last year in Chicago. I'm like, shit, are they going to do it again?
Yeah, you guys were at that show.
And like, I was like, oh, it's like you can't do this to Shelley twice, but they're probably gonna, because I love Macklin as champ, and it's like, you gotta make them legit. Okay, so you're gonna have them beat a guy like Shelley. It's still a different kind of match. But
I saw so many variations of the sliced bread number 2 tonight. I love how it's just because he was slicing bread off of everything, bro. Like,
yeah,
loved it. It was good. It just is just one of those genuine feel good wrestling moments that all around it was a genuine surprise, and it couldn't happen to someone more deserving. You know what I mean? Like, dude's paid his dues, been in this company, involved in the company, been in the business for 20 plus years. Like, it's all amounted to this, and wow, what a reward, right?
Right. And it's you could, it's all subjective saying, oh no, it's not a real sport. It's not like baseball or soccer.
Fuck that. It's not a real sport, bitch. Your body is in movement. It's a sport.
Well, I'm saying, you know what I mean.
I'm responding to the people who say things, not you directly. I'm just saying, it's like, just because it's got predetermined results doesn't take away to the fact that if you're not athletic, you're not going to be successful in the business, period. Right. You can't pace yourself. If you can't have match psychology, none of that shit, you're only going to make it so far.
It takes talent.
Like to the top of the NWA, hypothetically?
Dear God.
I'm sorry, I had to. It was like you were setting me up for it.
I'll allow it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'll allow it. But yeah, just what a great moment, and overall great ending to the show. I'm really glad that the audience was able to catch their breath and get back invested into it, considering the slobber knocker that they got beforehand. But yeah, just wow, just what a great moment, and congratulations to Alex Shelley. Macklin should have wore your face paint. I'm just saying.
Right.
He should be. It's a pay-per-view, bro. Put some effort in. Trinity put some effort in. Trinity had a fantastic outfit tonight.
I love the cowboy fringe.
But yeah, and it was great to have a show, especially in a new, I'll just say like new territory like this for Impact Wrestling. You know, it's hot.
That's the
for
kind of show
wrestling.
that leaves a mark on wrestling fans. And when you're in Ohio, it's maybe you're not so aware, but Ohio is another one of those wrestling states where it's a big deal. Train of thought. There's a lot of people who come out of Ohio in wrestling.
Oh yeah.
And so for their first time being in this area of Ohio, it really, really sends the message that, hey, this is a show worth checking out when they come back around.
Critical sting here. If you worked for WWE in the mid 2000s but never broke the glass ceiling and grabbed the brass ring, you're a prime position in the NWA.
Well, if you're a mediocre dancing buffoon, I'm sure.
But on the upside now we get Nick, and that's a pretty big upside for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you make poor choices. We reap the benefits, so...
There you go.
Oh, also, I'd like to mention that Trinity used to valet for someone in the NWA. And look at how that's worked out.
Yes. Hard work pays off.
Sometimes.
You know.
Well, see, yeah, I agree. Yeah, sometimes.
Meritocracy.
Well, because what I'm saying is like it's kind of like Trish Stratus. She didn't just stay.
Came in not knowing shit and left being the top of the game.
Right.
Not everyone, because unfortunately with WWE, with the women, they tend to put them in the main ring before they're ready, before they're properly trained. And then you get these cases where, like, Trinity was one of those examples that she came in very green and learned along the way and took it to a level that a lot of the women who are there couldn't meet or don't want to meet. But yeah.
And she came into Impact Wrestling and wasn't just the rear view, finisher move. She's been absolutely killing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, props to her for that. Props to everyone on the show tonight.
Great show tonight, everybody. Even if I'm not a fan, you guys did all right.
Yeah.
All right. So I guess at that point we've talked the air out of these lungs.
That's about it.
I guess we should wrap it up. So thanks for everyone for joining tonight.
Another 90 minutes because the pay-per-view was 3 hours. So I don't make
only an hour and a half.
No, I'm good.
I don't got much to say except night nights.
Yeah.
I'm sleepy. I got good night nights. I'm very tired.
Yes. Yeah,
been on the go since 5 a.m.
You watch a show like this, it takes a lot out of you. It really does.
Well, with an ending like that.
Yeah. It hits you emotionally, especially.
I didn't cry. It didn't hit me in those feels, but it was fucking iconic.
I was choked. I got choked up. I'll admit that much. I got choked up. I didn't bust out the Kleenex, but I did.
I'm sure if it was someone that like I was really behind, because even though I like Shelley and stuff like that, that's not my person in Impact. You know what I mean? So that doesn't take away from how iconic the moment was. But at the end of the day, I'm sure one day I'll cry.
It'll hit you later.
It'll hit me. Right. I'll get all verklempt and you can talk amongst yourselves.
You'll be in your first cup of coffee in the morning. It'll hit you. Oh my God, what a show last night.
The dam will break. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Shelley, oh my God, he's the champ.
I gotta call my mom.
I gotta call my mom. And she's going to be like, who's Alex Shelley? I'm like that guy from Detroit.
When stuff like this happens and I have to share it with somebody, I try and hype my wife up. She does not care in the slightest. But she listens because she's a good person.
Right.
I'm thankful that I was able to recruit my husband into liking wrestling.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this would be a very interesting relationship.
Okay, let's go to bed.
It would result in you throwing turtles around. That'd be ugly.
The cartoon Zeds coming out of your mouth.
There you go. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up this review for tonight's Against All Odds. Go open up your Spotify and go play the iconic Phil Collins tune to wrap up your evening.
Tonight. I'm just singing, sorry.
That's the wrong song, Alicia. Jeez Louise.
You give me TOS. All right, let's just wrap this up. I can't talk anymore. We're just rambling at this point.
She's going to start singing Studio pretty soon for crap.
I'm going to do the drum solo in a second. Let's fucking wrap it up, buddy.
All right, you know what to do, folks, on your way out of here. The best way you can support the show, smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications so that you know when our content hits your screen. All right, folks. See you next week. Have a tremendous weekend. Much love. Good night.
Good night.